Hey, what's up, YouTube? Back again with another video. Today's topic is going to be about the hype behind looks maxing and how back in 2022, when it first kind of started out with TikTok and everything, how it was this biggest thing in the world, and people had like these podcasts and these videos and stuff like that about looks max, go to the gym, get right, look good, look good. Do all for the ladies and of course for yourself. But reality-wise, we always trying to like get our girls and stuff like that because back in 2022, after the pandemic, that's when the self-improvement thing kind of, skyrocketed and took itself to like the next limit. But I'm here to say just like, yeah, like after you think about it, self-improvement gang, this stuff kind of died down, and people don't really talk about it like that as much. But you don't really see like fitness gurus and all that stuff out there. That's kind of died down. They're once like Jedi's, like they were popular back then, and then the Empire happened. Order 66 happened. They all got wiped out of existence. So that's what happened basically. But I'm here to talk about like the hype behind that looks maxing, how it really is just bad for your mental health, and how the pursuit of looking good can make you feel empty on the inside. I'll go for one. Back in the day when I was like younger and stuff like that, I used to get called names. I used to get made fun of my looks. I used to get made fun of who I was as a person, and it would happen through middle school, high school, in not really much in early college, but like in my career year and jobs and stuff like that. But I did notice like the way how you looked kind of made a big difference in how your life was going to be. Now, of course, I said this in many videos. I wasn't the super child or whatever, but I just pretty much was the funny guy. But then there was a sacrifice of the funny guy because at least what the guys that are perceived as like that high status or chads, even back in the day, what I saw, they were liked and respected. See, they never was crossed with that territory. Me, I was liked, but easily people can disrespect me, and I've hated that so much. And that was being funny because when you're the funny guy, people only get used to that one side, so you have to play that role all the time. And once you stop playing that role, you're done for. You can't show up being sad too. That's what sucks about being a funny friend. You ever showed up being sad or something like that, and nobody asked you like, bro, what's wrong, bro? Nah, bro, I didn't get that. I didn't get no sympathy back in the day. But yeah, just it built up on those insecurities, of just not being enough and not wanting to do more, and all that stuff just built up. I remember I wanted to change myself. I wanted to get in the best shape possible. I wanted to change my whole style, my look, and everything, so I can finally fill in that void that I had years prior built up to that experience. I wanted to change, and eventually I did get myself in the best shape of my life. I got six pack abs, all that crazy stuff, and changed my style. But then one thing I noticed, I didn't feel any difference. I feel like I did something good, but the whole outcome of it didn't change. The battle, of course, was won, but the war was still going on. The war from within. It felt like nothing had actually changed and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that I kind of had to sit back and realize, like, damn, like I did all this, but I still feel the same. Yeah, things just don't. I don't know. Like when it came to like changing, like getting the best shape of my life, like getting a six pack for starters. I remember like I was like so hyped about it, but then I noticed like it's like the same thing with girls. I wanted to get at girls and stuff like that, but I did it for myself because I wanted to look like an anime character, but I wanted to also have the expectations of getting at girls and stuff. But then when I wasn't really getting at many girls and stuff like that, or when people wasn't really coming at me like that, it made me feel a certain type of way. I felt like I did all this stuff for nothing. Like it felt like even though I worked my ass off just trying to get to a certain point, I could easily get reverted back to how I was feeling no matter what. Even the slightest inconvenience of any day can send me back mentally to that kid that didn't feel like he was good enough. And it happened over and over and over and over again. It happened so many times where it's like I have to really just jot down to myself like, no, you've changed. You're in a different spot. You're not going through that anymore. You're a different person now. Let that shit go. Be gone, fucking leave. But it kept coming back. It kept coming back. And no matter how hard I tried, it just felt like, the more I did, the more I expected it to change, the less something actually changed. So I have to keep working on within. And that's the biggest battle because of working on, looks maxing and trying to get all this stuff. I think working on inside really helps out the most because it's just like if you're not happy within, all this stuff doesn't really matter. If you're in shape and stuff, it doesn't really matter. People can fucking burn. Oh shit, head that boy. Well, that's what can happen at that point. I'm like, damn, bro. No matter how hard you try on something, you can feel the same. And it really makes you want to reflect on a lot of things, you know, like am I really working hard enough and stuff like that? Am I really doing this for me, or am I doing this to impress people? And you should be doing this for yourself. But in a way now, I'm working out to kind of like bring peace to myself, so I don't have to worry about that side of not being good enough or anything like that. I want to let that chapter go and let it die down so I can finally move on to bigger and greater things. Because for starters, like, yeah, like I did it for girls and stuff like that, but at the same time I'm doing it for myself, where I want to bring peace and balance to my life, where I don't want to have that same mindset as I did back then, where I go back and I think about like, oh, I'm not good enough. Even after so many years of me working my ass off, trying stuff, doing stuff, and actually like making changes, going out and having experiences and stuff like that. You know, like, you are good enough. It's just hard to beat that over your head sometimes. Sometimes you gotta like wake up and ping that motherfucker, you know? I mean, it's the hardest shit in the world. I mean, like, I'm telling you, trying to tell yourself like you're good enough is probably the hardest thing sometimes, because it's just reality can sit in. Like, you're working your ass off to get to a certain level, and then all reality can do is just bring you back down by one bad experience, and you let that outcome be your whole reality, and you can't let that happen. I have to tell you that. But I remember 2022, when the looks maxing, the fitness gurus, Hamza. I used to watch a lot of Hamza. You know, go get in shape. You know, girls will like that and all that stuff, and you know, change your style. It was the biggest hype thing because it really got on everyone's insecurities and stuff like that. But you know, once when that thing kind of passed down, that was pretty much it. But yeah, I just like I remember back then when I kind of first started, man, I had to kind of like lock in on that and just be honest, like, hey, like, is this really gonna make you fully happy? Is this just gonna be something temporarily that you can kind of adjust to yourself and see what you can really do? But yeah, basically just being honest. You know, it's like if it's gonna work out, it's gonna work out. But you gotta do it for yourself at the end of the day. Of course, you know, girls will come, but my biggest goal is just to get my mind right, get my soul right, get my spirit right, everything. Because yeah, you can look good, but what's the point if you don't feel good inside? I feel like I lost the meaning of that because during this looks maxing thing, I'll be honest, like I feel like I was doing better with everything back then. When I mean everything, I mean everything. When it came to like you know, just talking to people, making friends, relationships, connections, because I didn't have this weird expectation like, oh, my looks matter first. No, I put my personality first. I've always had my personality be the leading forefront of what I wanted to do. So that was the main thing I wanted to be, and yeah, just go from there. So pretty much, I was saying the yeah, 2022, just working on my inner part and my soul, everything I want to work on. I think that's more important than everything because, excuse me, just working on like the outside part is one thing, but working on your inner is everything else. Being social with people, I think that's one of the biggest things I used to do back in the day. Like, it was easier for me making friends and stuff like that, but there's a lot of problems that came with like looks maxing that YouTubers never brought up. That's the thing. I'm sorry. Forgive me, y'all. I'm gonna get animated for one quick ass second. Bruh, why didn't nobody tell me you just gonna have all this dumbass energy when you like got to the goal where you wanted to be? It came with so many more problems that I didn't ask for, that it makes it more, I just feel weird about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get what you wanted, but it's not what you want. It's like, what the fuck is this shit? It's like, I didn't order this. It's like you got a burger, you wanted a burger and you got a fucking sloppy ass, fucking shitty ass kebab or something like that. You looking at motherfucker, I want that bullshit. I'm like, damn. For starters. So, basically, it is a little bit difficult making friends sometimes with people, you know, because the energy be off, the energy be weird, you know. People are like a little bit more envious at times, and it's just like, you know, you're just doing this for yourself. You just want to improve on how you are drastically. And where it came with, I'm sorry, I'm gonna grab onto this motherfucker. What it came with is something I didn't like. It's like, why in the fuck do I gotta go through this dumb shit? It's like anybody, really. It's like, what came with is a big problem. Like, you know, you go out places, people be staring, you know, oh, you think you all that and shit. And it's like hard to make friends. Niggas don't want to talk to you. Guys don't want to talk to you. And then, you know, I hear all these things about girls and stuff like that. Like, oh, girls, you know, play games and all that stuff. It's just, but then you see them around with like crucial guys, but it's just like, we have the same I'm like, okay, if he has personality, I have personality too. You know, make a match, make it make sense. But you know, just it's just all these cons. Yeah, of course, there's pros and cons to like, you know, looking your best, whatever. But it's like, damn, like what I used to have back then, it was like, I always go back to like it being easier than how it was now. And it's just that transition that I'm getting used to as days go by. And that's how life is. You have to like accept it. And I'm learning and living to accept it. Even though what you had was easier before, this is what you wanted. This is what you want. So here, either take it or leave it. This some days you can get lucky, some days you can't. I just prefer it to be like simple. And you got a lot of dudes that try to challenge you and all kind of stuff and weird energy. And the guys on YouTube, the guys I looked up on, the reason why I wanted to do this whole look maxing thing is because I used to look at Awesome Dunham and a lot of those fitness YouTubers, and they made life look easy when it came to them, looking the way that they did, because it's just like a part of me always wanted that since I was a kid, like in middle school. I've always wanted to look good for myself. But with them, it was just like, okay, you just saw that one aspect of them looking good, and that was it. But you didn't see them going through people looking at them weird, them talking about like them having to cut off people from friendships because of them giving weird energy. Girls, playing kind of all these games and stuff like that, or just weird energy and dating overall. You'll think things will become easier, but they actually become a little bit more difficult. And when things get difficult, when they should be easy, it's like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? And there's a lot of times I don't feel satisfied with my progress because I work so hard to get to some point. It's like working at a job, right? You've been working it for a long time, putting in some work. You at least should get some benefits, right? You don't get no benefits. You get nothing. Maybe you get a little 401k planner, but the plan is shit because you get half of what you expected to get from the paper that you read from the description. That's what sucks about it. Like, you said you're gonna get this, but then you end up getting something else, and then you have no other choice but to adapt it, because if you try to talk about it or complain about it or speak your reasons, you're gonna look like, oh, you're ungrateful, you're bad, all that goofy stuff. I'm like, damn, so there's just a lot of issues that come with it, and I just block out the noise. I keep to myself and more to my peace, because I don't care what I look like. I'm never gonna change who I am as a person. I've always been a good person. I just people will try to challenge you and all that kind of stuff, but I can't let them get through you. So if you guys are on this journey of changing yourself, there's people around you change, just take a step back, get the fuck away from them. Just tell them, leave me the hell alone. Sorry for my French, but damn, I'm not with that goofy energy. I be looking at people, I'm like, what the fuck is you doing? I'll be like, oh, gotta do all this extra shit. It's easier. I'm like, fuck, what the fuck I'm gonna do? This nigga, I'm going to my thing, bro. Like, anyway, it's like basketball. You gotta block them out. You know what I'm saying? Take a free throw shot, just block them out. That's it. Doop, 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 and then make the shot. That's what you gotta do. Just keep it simple as that. Oh my God, I could go on a rant all day with this thing too. It is crazy. But that's the thing with social media that I didn't like, where they kind of made it where one aspect of it, like, everything just looked good. Everything just looks perfect. But then when you actually get into it, it's all these little problems and all these little things. And especially if you have like some type of trauma or some mental issues and stuff like that, it's a little bit more difficult. So I would say just be very cautious with this. And I wish they would give you some. Now people are kind of saying something about it, and I have to go through it first. Then people will start saying something about it. But now, back then, it was like, go ahead, do what you gotta do. But yeah, it's enough of that. All it is, if you want to make a change, do it for yourself. And no matter what comes your way, never forget why you started. Do it for your inner self. Do it for your inner childhood self. If that inner child is saying, I want to change, I want to do it for me, do it for you. Do it for you, bro. Do it for you. But thank you guys. Let me know in the comments. Like the video. Let me know if you guys feel the same way about this whole journey and stuff like that. Wherever you are in your journey, if you feel as though like people switch up on you, change, and you gotta distance yourself, let me know. We all relate to each other, because it's goofy, isn't it? Like, bro, who trying to deal with that? Ain't nobody got time for that. Shoot, we out here grinding. Yes, sir. But you guys take care and have a good one. Peace.